Okay guys, Derek here with the Closet Doctor, and want to give you an example of nested base processing. There was a video shared the other day of just cutting rips on a vertical panel saw, and so how this compares. So Daniel just loaded a sheet of material on our CNC, and he's hitting the go button here, and now it's going to start running. Is what it's going to do in nested base, we've put all of the machining that we can on the panel. So right now it is drilling the line boring holes on the vertical panels. It's drilling for cam or ray fix fittings on all of the fixed shelves. We've got nailers that we pop into place that also have a ray fix fitting on the back of them. It's going to drill those, and then it's going to cut it out, and when it cuts it out, it's going to cut an outline cut that is also going to include the rail bracket, the notch out for the rail bracket that we use. So we've put all of the machining on here to do. We have no secondary operations at the Closet Doctor except for two that we use, and I'll show you those right here. So in nested base machining, you don't have the ability in the nest to do horizontal drilling. So we use this rail bracket here, and it's got two screws that hold it in. And as what we do is at the end of the edge bander, when those stack up, we have a little jig right here that we pre-drill those holes, and then we've got a special screw that we use for that. And so that's our horizontal drilling process for that one. The other one we use here is for our wall bed. When we use a mini fix on the top shelf so that it's flush, we drill on each wall bed. We use this jig to drill 6 holes. So that's all of our horizontal in the whole shop. So we're about 2 minutes into the process, and we've finished all of our drilling, and it started to cut out our parts. You can see there that it's cut out. Part of the outline cut is for the rail bracket, and we've got a couple of shelves there. One of the things, when you're ripping things on a saw, the full length of the panel has to go that same dimension. As you'll see here in the nested base, we've got panels in here and we've got shelves in here and parts that are different sizes. This is a pretty simple one, but sometimes we'll have parts all over the place, and it would be very hard to get the kind of yield we do without with straight line rips. So now we're it's finishing up here. It's coming up the outside, and it's cutting out these parts. It uses, one of the downsides too of nested base is it uses, you're either going to use a 3/8 or a 1/2 inch bit, so it affects your dust collection. You're going to have an increase of double to almost 3 times the amount of dust that you're going to generate in your dust collector. And it also affects your yield. We got around it. We just shortened the size of our panels a little bit, from 12 inches to 11.7, and from 16 to 15.7, and that allowed us to get 3 and 4 wide on a 4-foot wide panel. So now here comes the most important thing of nested base. If you're buying a router, it has to have one of these, because this, you're going to see this little arm up here at the top. It's going to flip down, and now it is going to unload this table, all of these parts, and push them off onto the conveyor belt here. Without this, so this project here, this sheet took about 3 minutes. We found in the past when we had a machine without this, if it took 3 minutes to run it, it took 3 minutes to unload it. Daniel's going to load another one in here, and the total time on this between these sheets is about 30 seconds. And so we're going to, in this scenario, we're going to run stuff every 3.5 minutes. And when it comes off of there, it's going to go through the edge bander, and it's going to be done. So the nice thing about this, it's pushing material off. This is a different sheet here, but you'll notice when we're watching that cut out that the amount of labor involved in it from the operator once he loads the sheet is 0. And then unloading it is also 0. It pushes it off on the conveyor belt, and now that it's going to go on here, it is going to get labeled. We have a label it on the end of it that we put a vinyl label on it that's easy to tear off, and depending on the part, it's either going to get a vinyl label or it's going to get a we're going to mark it with a Sharpie depending on what our parts are. And let me just show you one more thing here. So here's the other end of the conveyor belt, and you can see how close our conveyor belt is to our edge bander. We actually set that up to where we have plenty of clearance, but the end of the conveyor belt to the edge bander is only about 4 feet. You notice the guy took about 3 or 4 steps there. They just realized they had the wrong color on the edge banding right there, and they're going to walk down. But as I said, it's very, very low walking back and forth as we're processing those parts, so that all of the parts can come off of the conveyor belt and go back onto, or go into the edge bander, and within a few steps.